Video we'll be going over scheduling and call forwarding. To get to the One Talk portion, when you log into your Verizon My Business portal, you want to come to Manage, Product Portals, and then One Talk. The first thing we'll go over is scheduling. To create a schedule, you'll come to Manage Schedules. Now there's a couple different reasons you would set up a schedule. One being an auto receptionist to differentiate a during hours and after hours slash holiday recording. The second reason you would create a schedule is selective call forwarding. So for instance, if I wanted my main number to forward to an answering service after hours, then I would want to have it call forward between midnight and 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. and midnight. So we'll go over that one second. The first thing we'll go over is an auto receptionist schedule. So in this scenario, we're going to want to create a schedule. We're going to select a business schedule. And I'll simply just do during business hours, DBH. Now, it already defaults to 9 to 5. So essentially, close Sunday, close Saturday. So Sunday and Saturday would play the after hours greeting. And then Monday through Friday, we're open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So anything outside of these times, it will play the after hours greeting. So we'll save this. And then we'll come over to the auto receptionist. We'll select our only auto receptionist we have here. And then from there, this drop down will display the schedule we just made during business hours. Now, anything outside this, again, it will play the after hours greeting. The auto receptionist is designed to know to play the after hours, anything outside 9 to 5, and of course when you're closed on Saturday and Sunday. Holiday schedules are the same. So we'll go back to create a holiday schedule under Manage Schedules, create a schedule, and instead of business, we'll select holiday. I'll simply do 2024 holiday, and then we can select our dates. So September, I think 2nd is going to be Labor Day. We'll do Thursday, November 28th, which should be Thanksgiving. We'll do Christmas, and then we'll just do New Year's Day to be safe there as well. That way I'm not scrambling. You don't have to do just 1 year. You can schedule it out as long as you can. But essentially, these all just pop up down here. You can save. I don't recommend repeating every year, just because some holidays, for instance, Thanksgiving lands on a different day every year. So it just gets you in the habit of just doing this once a year. So I just would not recommend doing every year. So we'll save this. And then to apply it to the auto receptionist, we're going to come back in here. And then under after hours and holidays, we'll see our 2024 holiday. Now, say there was an emergency, a hurricane, ice storm, depending on what part of the country you're in, and you needed to say, hey, tomorrow we're going to be closed. It's Monday today, Tuesday we're going to be closed. So what I would recommend, instead of editing your during business hours schedule and saying closed here, I would just recommend adding a holiday to the holiday schedule, because if you do it this way, that means next Monday, you have to remember, at least by next Monday, you have to remember to change that back to your regular hours, or else it's going to play the after hours greeting when you guys are actually working the next Tuesday. So in a disaster recovery type situation, come to your holidays, select the day. So today's the 5th. Tomorrow I know we're closed. There's a hurricane hitting. There's an ice storm, what have you. Snow day. Tomorrow Hopefully, we're not having any snow days in August, but tomorrow, you're just going to select holiday and then save, and it automatically will play the after hours. And then you never have to undo this because it's only going to do that for 2024 August 6th. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you want to kind of do this every year, right? So you could create a holiday schedule for 2025 and apply all your holidays. But in this scenario, you would have to go back and apply the holiday schedule again. You could just edit your existing schedule and just change this to 2025 and then fast forward and select all your 2025 holidays. Just edit an existing schedule. That way you don't have to find where you applied it. Same thing with your during business hours. You just edit your existing one. That way you don't have to create new ones. Now keep in mind, for those that have multiple locations or multiple departments, if you have multiple groups, you do have to create that schedule for every group. You can't use the same schedule across all groups, which most of the time that doesn't matter because most people have different hours of operation, or call flow varies depending on the location. Now let's talk about forwarding. So forwarding is probably the most confusing part of this portal. So when you can grasp this, you can be confident that you know everything, or you can comprehend most things in this portal. So selective forwarding. The use case we would have for this, or the reason why we would apply this, is if we want to forward a number somewhere between a certain amount of time. Okay. First use case, the most common. In our previous videos, I mentioned most of the time we're going to port main numbers to hunt groups. The reason why is, one, they're free, subject to change, but they're easy to manage and manipulate, right? So, for instance, if we ported your main number to an auto receptionist, and essentially the auto receptionist, when you call that number, it's going to play your recording. Say in the future you get a receptionist and you want them to answer the phone, and if they don't answer, then you want it to go to the auto receptionist. In that scenario, you have your main number on the auto receptionist. It's always and forever just going to play the auto receptionist. So it's really hard to manipulate that or undo that. Now that can be fixed, but we find the best practice is to always have your number on a hunt group. Now say it's reversed. Say your main number's on a hunt group, but you tell me, I want the auto receptionist to play first. In that scenario, we need to forward the hunt group, which is the main number, to the auto receptionist always, right? Then if you dial your hunt group number, your main number, it's just going to play the auto receptionist right away. So in that scenario, we need to copy down this auto receptionist number. So that's 0438. So we're going to copy this. And then our main number, for instance, say is the 8072. So we're going to forward the 8072 to the auto receptionist. So to do this, we're going to come home. We're going to come to Manage Features. Under User Features, there's two tabs here. We want to make sure we're under User Features. Call Forwarding. Just remember, you always want to be under Selective. You don't want to mess with these three tabs. Just remember Selective, the first tab. So we're going to be forwarding the 8072, which is our main number, our hunt group. We're going to be forwarding it, and I already have it in here, to, we'll paste the auto receptionist number in there. So that 0438 is our auto receptionist. And so we want all calls or all numbers coming in to the hunt group to automatically forward to the auto receptionist always. And then we save. So now in this scenario, it doesn't matter what this hunt group says. So this hunt group, our main number, says it's going to ring for 5 rings, 2 phones, okay? But really what it's doing is it's forwarding to the auto receptionist. So it's not going to play the hunt group. It's not going to ring the phones. It's going to forward to the auto receptionist. Okay. So let's come up with another scenario. So another scenario is, say we want to use the auto receptionist only after hours. Okay. So we want the hunt group to play normally. We want the two phones in the group to ring simultaneously for 5 rings during normal business hours, but after hours, we want it to go to the auto receptionist. In that scenario, we need to create a schedule. So we're going to manage a schedule. We're going to create a new schedule. And we're going to do a business schedule. And we can name this forward after business hours, ABH. Okay. So in this scenario, because we're telling it to forward between 2 times, we need a 2-part schedule. So on Sundays and Saturdays, we want it to forward because, this company is closed. We're forwarding all day. And if you remember, for the auto receptionist, we have it closed. We don't want that because we're not applying this to an auto receptionist. We're applying this to a forward. So keep that in mind. So we want it to forward all day on Sunday, and we want it to forward to the auto receptionist all day on Saturday. And this would apply to if you have an answering service as well. So if you want to just forward to your answering service after hours, then this would be the same scenario. So on the top of the schedule, just think of the top of the schedule as AM and think of the bottom of the schedule as PM. So we want it to forward 12 a.m. to 9 a.m. because that's when we open. I don't have my mouse right now, so bear with me. All right. And then we close at 5 p.m. So this is the second part of the forwarding. So we're closed from 5 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. Because again, we're in the PM section. So like I mentioned earlier, if you can grasp this part, if you can grasp the 2-part schedule, you have mastered the portal. Okay? You can have all the confidence in the world at this point. So, this is our 2-part schedule. We're using it on a forward. We're forwarding our hunt group or our main number after business hours. And the schedule is from midnight to 9 a.m. It's forwarding. The forwarding stops from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. because that's not within this. And then it picks back up from 5 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. And that's Monday through Friday. And then, of course, Saturday and Sunday, again, we're closed, so we want it to forward all day. So we're going to go ahead and submit this. And now we're going to apply it to the forward. So we're going to come back home. We're going to go back to forwarding. So manage features. Remember, you want to be under user. It's going to default to business features. You want to be under user features. Call forwarding. Always be under selective. And then the main number is this 8072. So we already have a forward set up, so let's erase this so we don't confuse anyone. So we want, this is our main number. We want it to forward, I don't know if I still have this number in here, to the auto receptionist number. Instead of always, we want it just after hours. So we're going to go to custom. and then forward after business hours, the schedule we just made. And then we can also select our holiday because we already set up a holiday schedule. So we want to make sure this green is on, and then we press submit. And there you go. So we covered a lot. Just to recap, we covered making a schedule and applying it to an auto receptionist. Okay. And then we covered a two-part schedule for forwarding. If you can master this, you have the portal.